Following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble! You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle. Inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey.
Hey, indeed. Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh and vulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
What's up?
What's up with you? As for myself, my name's Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. Shout out to Oz. He's out working, making the world a better place for you and for me. So, he couldn't be with us here today, unfortunately. If we're lucky, maybe we'll get him in chat. If not, hey, he'll be around next week. So, you can look forward to seeing him then. But in the meantime, just, shout out to him. In the meantime, we got a great show for you today because we are going to be talking to you all about Transformers, Rise of the Beasts. And we are going to be talking to you about the ninja vampire epic that is Bleed Them Dry. So we got both of those going on. And of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about, as always, and we'll tell you how it is. You can do that and get down with Fantastic Forum in just a moment. But before we do all that, we want to make sure that we give a shout out to Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, this show would not exist. So thank you, Mr. Scott Rubin. Hope you're doing well. And with that said, let's go ahead and tell you how to be down with the Fantastic Forum.
Hold on.
Cut to the fantastic. Cut to intern. Intern.
Action. Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
I definitely want to join the party. Thank you, intern. Appreciate your hard and dedicated work. All right. So fantasticforum.live is the place to be. You can go and jump on there, hit the call-in button, and you would get the coveted role of being the fourth member of Fantastic Forum. Oz is here right now, so you can be the fourth member of Fantastic Forum. Or you can go ahead and look at us, or you're probably already looking at us, actually, or else you're not hearing me on YouTube or on Twitch. You can always jump into chat. We'll take your comments directly out of the chat and bring them into the show, such as Jay. Jay, insert a witty chat comment here, please, sir.
Tiger Claw says, what's up, Fantastic Forum? The future of the Transformers franchise is about to get bigger.
Tiger Claw's alluding to some things, and I get it. We will get there, friend. We will definitely get there. In the meantime, though, we're gonna hold off, Tiger Claw. This is a show made for the Claw, right? This is everything Tiger Claw wants to talk about. We're gonna talk about today. So, or I'll say all the main things, because not everything. But with that said, there are going to be some spoilers coming down the road for Transformers: Rise of the Beast. So, if you care about that kind of thing, we just want to let you know that, But we're not quite there yet, but we will be in just a moment. I'm trying to think if there's anything anything that I'm forgetting that we should be talking about before we get into our topics for today?
Well, they released that DC was a dual thing, the game,
I don't think they released the game yet, right? I think it's just a
the
beta.
beta. Yeah,
Yeah, but I haven't gotten anything that says I'm in the beta. I did sign up for it, but and I know there are people that are in it. Obviously, like there's
yeah.
like, influencers
So I'm
and whatnot.
technically in it. They gave me the key.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So now I guess I
Why
have.
didn't- Yeah,
Now I have
no, they gave you.
Well, I want to play on my phone.
Oh well, it's not that kind of game, though.
Who wants to be in the beta? I'll give you my key.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I look, Jay. Do you like? Is there like Jay has like for all it? Well, look, I'm going to speak for Jay because unfortunately, Jay's not here to speak for himself, right? but instead of like, or maybe the better way for me to say it is, Jay. I mean, at this point, you've pretty much like officially put Snap down, right? You're like, I'm good.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
Is there
fun
any-
right now.
What?
It's so fun right now.
Oh,
I'm literally like I'm massacring these people. Like I got a Nimrod deck, I got my ones deck, I played with your deck, Jay, that you gave me, and I tweaked it to my benefit because of my. It turns out I'm actually like the Captain America of Marvel Snap because I'm just a really good strategist. Like Larry was talking to me, and I'm just paying attention to Larry, and I'm playing with it on one. And I go, Larry, hold on, shut up! I'm about to massacre this guy, and then it just looks like what it looks like, and then it's just boom, retreat. Like the guy knew, he's like, okay, don't fuck my ass too hard. So he just
That is what happened. That is what happened.
it's so
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, they just changed Galactus, which I don't even know if you even played against any Galactus decks or not, Jay. Do you have
not a
one?
whole deck, but I've seen him.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, I hear you. Like Galactus has been the
Larry
bane
Lynn.
of like
Yeah.
has been the bane of the many of Marvel Snap players' existence for a little while now, just because I don't, look, right. And I mean, here's the thing. Up until recently, the issue with a Galactus deck is that you have to play a certain set of cards that counter Galactus. And so it's like, like Mo's deck, for instance, has a built-in counter to Galactus because he's using Nimrod. So it's like, generally, I mean, because technically depending on what level of Galactus player you're playing with, it's like Nimrods might not even help, because if they're using like Null beforehand, if they were using like friggin' Galactus on 4 and then Spider-Man on 5 and then Null on 6, it's like it doesn't even matter, or Null and Death. It don't matter how many Nimrods you have. Like that's just not, you're not going to get over that. But
if you have a Shang-Chi that comes in when you play your fucking Lockjaw, they get fucked in the ass with extra soy
that's
sauce.
true. With extra soy sauce. There it is. So
Which is, you
it's
can see that video on our channel if you like. Subscribe. I have
Right.
quite a few Galactus butt fucks there. It's like I even say in the video, like, don't they read comments? Galactus always loses. Like
It's true. It's true. And so, but now they've made it so, yeah, Galactus definitely is going to lose more often now, because I played more than a few decks recently where I'm just like, oh yeah, like I see it coming. And now, like, but the thing is, like, I don't often play direct counters. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm not trying to.
yeah, I don't
like. Good.
Oddly enough, today I lost to Galactus twice.
Really?
Which in a row actually, which is odd for me. But
yeah, it is odd.
it was I don't know what happened there, because I don't record my defeats, but
You don't record your defeat. Look, that's you and the majority of the community. They're like, oh no, they out here like DJ Khaled. All I do is win.
Yeah, but I
It's
think
like,
it's time. Like I'm in looking at my little tutorial videos. I think it's time to start. You know, because you could learn from defeats too. Like
100%,
that's
man.
the saying a model. You know, like, every fight you get stronger.
Right. I'm hoping to live stream me playing Snap a couple days out the week, but we'll see. Oscor's listening. There he is. He says galactic is nothing. High evolutionary has been more of a pain. So yeah, I'm sure he means Galactus. He's out here working and doing the show. So
Yeah,
but
I haven't had that issue. I mean, I've had some issues with the high evolutionary, but not that bad. I concentrate more on what I'm doing than what they're than countering, you know. So even if I lose, I guess that's part of why I do have kind of my record is probably more like I have a lot more losses than I show, but it is like I'm more concentrated on what I'm doing, you know, and that kind of helped. That strategy has helped me. Like, I mean, the last season I got to like 99,
right,
you know, and
right.
The last one I didn't really play as much because it was the Guardians. No, I don't give a fuck about Guardians. So
right
now I already paid for the fucking the ultra premium, the $15 one. So because I want that 2099 variant for Spider-Gwen.
Nice. No, man. I will say that that Spider-Gwen card I've really been enjoying, man. It's a good time, especially because I like move decks. And so because I like and so Spider-Gwen, I was like, dude, I need that. And then I don't know if I'm gonna get Silk anytime soon, but I think next week is actually Spider-Man 2099. And that card I definitely want too, because I feel like that'll be kind of cool.
And now we have another move location too with Aunt May's house.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Play that today. That was really fun,
dude. Playing a move deck with that joint is crazy because I'm sitting here like I got this multiple man deck, and listen. Oh. You all right, Jay? You all right?
That was him downloading Snap. He was telling us.
Like I was like, if they break it in, let us know. Like I'm close. I'll come. Like, dude. No, man. Like as soon as I see Aunt May's, I'm like, if I put multiple man on that joint, game's pretty much over because a lot of what I've been doing is I've been putting. I use Forge on turn 2. Ideally, I use Forge on 2, and then I'll put multiple man down on 3. And so if I can put multiple man down and on Aunt May, it's like it's everything because multiple man is friggin' 3, right?
Yeah.
So he's 2-3, right? Forge makes him 2-5. Aunt May is gonna give him 3.
Yeah.
So that makes it 2-8. And then it's gonna move it automatically. So that's 2-8 and a free move. So that means I have 2 now. Yep. So now all I'm just like, look, what I'm hoping for after that is Doctor Strange. I can mess around and put Doctor Strange down in the location where there are no multiple men and then get another 2 in that location. And I'm just like, like cats are just like, no, I'm done. They're like, no, thank you.
It's almost like a Nimrod, but with more power-ups.
Right. Absolutely. It's worse than I won't say it's worse than Nimrod because you're right. It is like a Nimrod. It's just that Nimrod doesn't leave a copy where it was. It leaves a copy in the other 2 places. So yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But man, it's crazy.
I gotta try playing Nimrod on Aunt May's because if he gets moved and gets powered up and then gets killed,
right? The copies that get made are going to be stronger copies. They're going to be 8 plus 8 copies too.
They play Wave, and then I play Destroyer, and then I Arnim Zola one of those. That's it.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even know. and now I don't even have enough spaces for Nimrods. What a
Listen,
Nimrod!
and that's what it is. That's exactly the issue that I've been running into with these multiple men. It's like I don't have enough spaces to put 8 or 9 power multiple men, because what happens is if there's not Aunt May, or I won't say if there's not Aunt May, but what I'll say is like my strategy, and so here it is. I'm letting the secrets out. Just don't use them on me. You know what I'm saying? Forge on 2, multiple man on 3, turn 4, put down Iron Fist, and then you put down Hulkbuster where multiple man is. And so that's again, you got 2, 3 is multiple man plus the Forge. Now it's 5 plus Hulkbuster. Now that's an additional 4. So it's a 9 power friggin' multiple man. And then because I played Iron Fist plus the Hulkbuster on 4, it's like that's my first friggin' split right there. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, because even though it's like, okay, it like technically you have to play the card after for Iron Fist, because it's connecting to the multiple man, it sees that as like the card you just played, and then it splits. And then again, same deal where hopefully I'm looking for Doctor Strange next, or if Spider-Gwen's in my hand, then I'll go with Spider-Gwen next, because that's the only time, like, you gotta, whatever the card you last played is what Spider-Gwen pulls. So if I have Spider-Gwen in my hand, I'll go Spider-Gwen next, and which, you know, now I have multiple locations, so whichever place I have room for 2 multiple men is where I'll play Doctor Strange. And by that time, cats are just like, you know what? I don't even want to play no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've only had one game where I've lost when I've had that combination. Like, because at this point, like, I'm like, if I have Forge, multiple man and Hulkbuster in my hand, I'm gonna snap. Like, that's a win as far as I'm concerned. I don't need Iron Fist. If I have Iron Fist 2, then I'm like double snap. if there was such a thing, I was like, I'm hitting the button and it's not working. I'm like, damn it, you know, I wish I could snap twice, you know, but you know, it's one of those things where it's like I'm definitely snapping, and so, but the fact is, it's like the only time where I lost and I had all that going for me was because here's the thing, I'm playing these joints all over, like literally like 2 or 3 cards in each location that are like +9 or 9, you know what I mean? So it's hard to mess with that. And my whole thing is like, you know, it's not like multiple man's like a 1-cost card. It's not Human Torch, right? So you can't Killmonger that joint. So it's like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, you have to use Shang-Chi.
And it's only just one.
But you only got one Shang-Chi, right? You only got one Shang-Chi. It's in all my locations. So how are you going to make that work? And the only time I lost was a dude that messed around and he played his Shang-Chi. And I'm like, you only got one Shang-Chi. And then he played Absorbing Man. And this for 2 Shang-Chis. And I was like, oh, son of a bitch.
Or like was it Sinister London or one of those where he another say
right. And that's the thing. If it was Sinister London, I would have been prepared for that.
Yeah.
But this fool messed around, and at the like literally final turn, he played Shang-Chi and then he played Absorbing Man. And I was like, oh. And I don't remember I don't play a lot of Absorbing Man, so I don't remember if Absorbing Man is a 3-cost card or a 4-cost card. Because it very well might have been
3.
Yeah.
I think
it's a 3-cost. Okay. Yeah, that might be so. If it wasn't 3-cost, then it might have been a thing with a magic extending might have. I don't remember, but either way, I was just like, man, that was the only game that I lost where I was like, when I had that combination, and I was like, dude, like, I'm like, good props to you. I would have given that fool some tokens or something if I could have. Like, you deserve it.
Before we move on to our actual topics and
Yes.
end this fun, I would like to bring in a little bit of a downer. We had a big death in the comics community, and it's he was a father, and I don't know how good he could have been, but you know, he brought his son into this world, made him like comics, and then you know, passed away. And I would like to take this little swig right here in honor of John Romita Sr. R.I.P. John Romita Sr. He he's the reason that my first words growing up were Spider-Man. You know, like as a little baby. Larry, my mom told you that story. It's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that cartoon that made me talk as a toddler because I wanted to watch Spider-Man is John Romita's art. is that cartoon in motion, you know? So my image of what I see Spider-Man in art, Gwen Stacy, Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, it was John Romita Sr. And so it's for you, John Romita Sr.
It's so sad, man. I know John Romita was in his 90s.
Yeah.
Or John Romita Sr., I should say.
Right.
Because, you know, obviously John Romita Jr., you know, our condolences to him.
Yeah.
And, you know, the rest of his family. Like, man, that's hard. That's so sad.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, you know, we're part of the same
He lived
club.
a good life.
Yeah. Me, John Romita Sr., me, John Romita Jr., Jay, we're part of the same club now, the same drinking group.
Right.
I don't mean to say it, laugh, Jay, but it's how I cope with it.
Mhm.
I'm one of the spiders in the Spider-Verse. It's like, why are you the one that's not funny?
Yeah. Okay, man. Damn, that's hard, man. It's a legend.
Yeah, man. It's a legend. You know, I think I have his last the last thing he ever did in comics, which I think was a Spider-Man variant, and it was just a drawing of Gwen Stacy, like a portrait of her, and then Spider-Man just like chilling right there. And it had nothing to do with the story or anything, but it was like, you got a John Romita variant, like fuck yeah, I'm gonna buy that. You know, that's my code. That's the one I want. Like,
Right.
oh, Loki, that was I'm like, you know what? I would get that tattoo on my back. You know, because I love John Romita's art. Like that's that design of like his design of Mary Jane is my quintessential. Like the face of tiger, you hit the jackpot. Like you know, that's what we see. You know, that mod 60s art style. Like you know,
Yeah.
It's like you can't see. You can't unsee that design. Like every design that ever went from that was like a takeoff of that design. You know,
Right.
Fashion.
Or even like the Spider-Man No More joint.
Right. Yeah. That is
which is classic, like so iconic that it's been, you know, like
parody.
People have homaged it so many times, you know. So yeah, man.
Yeah, that's the one.
Wow. Oh, wow. Man, look how good that is. Jesus.
Yeah. And I don't even know how I don't know if they it might have been something in his like sketchbook that they just decided to like mock up and you know
right.
It doesn't seem like something they paid him to do, you know. It's just some art they rejected back in the day and they just decided to color it, you know. But I'm like, man, that tattoo on my back would be the shit. You know.
It would be actually.
Yeah.
Like, that would actually be pretty well. Listen, to a certain group of people. I know, right? Like look trust me.
Let's just say nobody's gonna be back there pumping away at my bung, seeing like, man, I wish he didn't have this tattoo. You know what I mean?
Mo only lets comic nerds enter him from behind.
Yeah. It's literally like the way he drew it. It's literally like he's like sticking to your back because of his spider power.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, ultimately, it's like anybody that says that's not allowed in my bung.
There it is. There it is. All right, let's go ahead and let's play this theater music so we can talk about Transformers, friggin' Rise of the Beast.
Yeah, something worthwhile.
Something worthwhile. Oh.
Comic book theater. Comic book theater.
All right. Transformers.
I failed you guys.
Right.
I didn't
Oh
get-
no.
Yeah.
You didn't get to see it?
No, I didn't.
Oh no. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Please
like
tell
you
me
said.
Rat Trap was awesome.
Hexzilla says Transformers Rise of the Bullshit. Listen. So again, I mentioned it before. Let me mention it again. There will be some spoilers for Transformers Rise of the Beast. So if you care about that, you may want to go ahead and tune out. Big Man 24/7 says Mayor looking like he's about to hold a funeral. Damn. What did I look like? What? I know what's that mean? Look, Tire Claw says the Moses doesn't know about the bombshell ending. Listen, Jay, I'm gonna leave you to read these chat. I'm sorry. I'll trampling on your lane. I apologize. Go ahead, Jay.
Tiger Claw says, should we address the elephant in the room?
How dare you comment on our weight gain?
I was like, well, I don't even know what the
Is Ironhide in it?
Ironhide, no. So
'Cause
Wheeljack is.
In
Except
Beast
he
Wars,
doesn't look like or sound like Wheeljack.
because
And
Ironhide.
he has a Peruvian accent.
Wait, is that what that's supposed to be? Is it Peruvian?
Yes.
Is it just because it's a Peruvian actor?
I don't know. Like, he's in Peru. So.
But he's from Cybertron.
Wait! Before we do this, Jay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's talk. Let me look.
Well, I didn't get conversation. I didn't get confirmation. Is Ironhide in it?
No.
Oh, Moses. Why would I? No, Moses.
No, I mean because he said elephant in the room in Beast Wars. Ironhide was an elephant.
Is that true? I don't
Yeah.
remember that.
Well, not in the cartoons, but in the toys, like the toy line. Ironhide. It was Ironhide, Air Razor. Air Razor was the eagle, and then I forgot who else was a lion, and they form a bigger. They connect. All three of those connect into a bigger robot, like a Constructicon.
I forget that you were really into Beast Wars. Like that was like your Transformers as a kid.
Like those, I bought those toys like crazy. I bought the bootleg toys. Like some of them, like yeah, like I could spot like any 90s, like late 90s music video that was like an industrial metal video had a fucking black a fucking tarantulas in it as like a little drone in it, but they'll like take the legs off and put the legs on like something else, and I'm like, that's a tarantula's legs. I was like Leonardo DiCaprio in that meme. Like I could spot the Transformers using the props. Yeah, there it is, the Ironhide.
Well, it's on his ears.
That's the guns. Like
What?
the little. Well, it's like the little like maces. Like he's got little maces that he holds when he fights.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But
listen,
that set was tight. Like when you put them all together.
I don't know. Like
I still have a fake Dinobot, like a bootleg Dinobot.
okay. Listen, Transformers: Rise of the Beast. It's the latest live-action Transformers movie. It basically has the Transformers out in the early 90s. I'm sorry. What's Taking Tugboat saying?
Taking Tugboat says, I love how these alien beings have Earth accents. Bro, you just landed. Why are you Italian?
Listen, that's a fair observation. And here's the thing. there's some things that you just don't ask questions about with Transformers. You know what I'm saying? Like Rumble had a Brooklyn accent. There's no good reason for that. Listen, everyone's favorite, right? No one asked this question. This fool from Cybertron, right? Why's his name Bumblebee? Are there bumblebees on Cybertron?
It means
No, they are
something else
not.
in their language.
No. This
It's
fool's
like
named
Superman,
Bumblebee.
like the S means hope.
No, nah. Listen, this fool's named Bumblebee before he even came to Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's not an animal that's a bee.
Bumblebee actually means like father son in Cybertron.
So I'm gonna say these, like, you can pull on these threads if you want to. You're not gonna be happy with the answers you get because the answer is because the 80s. That's it. That's the only answer. Like, there's a lot of things that didn't, like, all you had was outdated encyclopedias for reference. There was no internet. It don't make no sense. People weren't thinking analytically like that. Jay, what's going on in chat?
Tiger Claw says, yeah, lots of Autobots had accents. We never made any fuss about it. We just ran with it.
Yeah. And that's like part of the suspension of disbelief you just have to do with Transformers to a certain degree. I'm not saying that across the board. I'm saying accents, names, like why they feel Earth-like even though they're aliens. It's like you just have to be like, okay, because the 80s. That's it. What's Big Man saying, Jay?
Moses with this Transformer fanfic over here.
Wait till I ask more questions about this movie because I still need to know how Rampage was. Waspinator.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
Listen.
Black Arachnia, like one of the greatest characters. Black Arachnia. Dinobot literally like turned from Predacon to Maximal because he just didn't like the leadership. He challenged Optimus Primal and said, "You know what? I'm gonna kill you and take you." And then he loses, and everybody still accepts him as a Maximal. And then he's like, there begrudgingly, he's like, "You should have killed me." But then he spawns the human race's ability to use tools and evolve and help the Autobots in the future. Man, I can't wait till you tell me how that happens in the movie.
Right. Okay, let's get into it then. This is a story about the Transformers, a group generally. Well, look, actually, I won't say a group that's generally familiar because the sad fact of the matter is with Transformers movies, we've gotten to the point where you have a rotating cast of robots outside of Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. right. Like Autobots is like the only people you need on an Autobot team at this point is Optimus Prime and Bumblebee as far as live action is concerned. Everybody else can die, live. Maybe they come back, maybe they don't. So it's okay. So you have a group of Autobots on Earth in the early 90s. They're trying to be low pro. I'm not exactly sure why, because I didn't watch Bumblebee, and I think this is supposed to be a sequel to Bumblebee, I think, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know why they're laying low, but they're laying low. And they inadvertently come into contact with a human, and the reason that happens is because they get this signal of this transwarp key. And they're like, if we can get this transwarp key, we can use that and get home. They can get back to Cybertron. So they have the one human who they decide to befriend. Well, basically Mirage decides to befriend him because he tries to steal Mirage, and it doesn't work, obviously. And it turns out they're like, oh, this guy can help us get the transwarp key because he can go where we can't because we're giant alien robots and he's just a regular dude. And that is basically how you get this guy intertwined with another young lady who's some sort of archaeologist or some sort of I mean, I guess archaeologist. She works at the museum, which is where the transwarp key is, and that's how the two of them basically get involved with the Autobots, trying to use this key to get home, but at the same time keep it away from they're Terracons, right, Jay?
Yes.
Okay, so they're not Predacons; they're
Sorry.
Terracons. Well, exactly. They're Terracons. They're not Predacons in this. They're Terracons, and the Terracons work for Unicron, and Unicron needs that transwarp key so that he can travel between. Is it travel between universes? Is that what he's doing?
Lets him teleport.
From where the part of space where he is to where they are.
Right.
Okay, there it is. So he's going to teleport to Earth and eat Earth because the Terracons are like they're like heralds of Unicron, led by Scourge, and
So they're like so they're like the Galvatron and all those from the first movie.
see, but that's the thing. I wouldn't say that. I'd say like it's almost more like Galactus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they almost have more of that vibe than they do.
So you're like Fire Lord and
yeah,
Silver
exactly. Because there's three of them,
mm-hmm.
and look. The sad fact of the matter is, there's three of them. Scourge is one, which is the main guy, and then Nightbird is like the other one, and then there's a third one that I'm not sure if they ever say that person's name.
Battle Trap.
Do they say that in the movie?
No idea.
So how do you know who it is?
I looked it up on the Wikipedia page.
Oh, got you. Okay, because I'm like, listen, look, you know, I'm not gonna put in that kind of work for this movie.
Yeah, but Jay's he's a segment producer. Like that's what he does.
There it is.
To be able to contribute, for the glory of this review.
Right. What's Big Man talking about?
Says, wait, wasn't Unicron inside the Earth in one movie? Those movies are no longer canon. Bumblebee was a soft reboot. So right now the current continuity is Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast.
Yeah. So, and which I could totally understand why you would not know that, because it doesn't feel like Bumblebee tried to set itself apart enough to be like, oh no, we're not that anymore. But because it looks like that for the most part, but whatever. Anyway, what's Big Man saying?
He says, thanks for the explanation. I hate that I asked.
Yeah, you're welcome, Big Man.
That sums up all these Transformers movies. Like, I was happy not seeing these.
Yeah, dude. So Battle Trap is the other person, which Battle Trap, he doesn't look like any Transformer I've ever seen in robot mode. In vehicle mode, it's basically like a hoist or whatever. So, you know. Yeah. What's Tech saying?
He says once Disney bought Marvel, all that became uncanon. He's blaming it on Disney.
Nah, man. Look, you can't blame. Look, don't do that. Look, you can blame Disney for a lot. Not this. Not this. Anyway, so you basically have these Terracons acting as agents of Unicron, trying to get this transwarp key so they can bring Unicron into the same space where Earth is, so Unicron can eat it. And you have the Autobots. Oh, okay.
Tiger Claw says it's better this way because having Unicron as the Earth would have prevented the character to fully emerge, and we would never see him fully transform. Because if he did, the Earth would have been doomed. I disagree. I would have loved to see him doom the Earth and not have any more fucking humans in these movies. I think that would have been amazing.
It's the same problem. Well, it's the same problem the Eternals had.
Is it?
They couldn't have the Celestial come out, right?
What they did though.
I mean, but not come out. Like he's still on the down low in that part of the ocean. Like
I'm just saying, like at the end, you at least see like a Celestial.
yeah, but it's just like just a hand and maybe a face.
No, I'm talking about like, don't you remember like the last scene where you literally see like the Celestial like next to Earth?
No, they stopped him, right? That's what the movie was. They stopped him from emerging.
All right,
Right,
everyone, let's rewatch Eternals.
Yeah,
But
we need
at
to rewatch it. Yeah,
Isn't the after credits like?
I you know honestly, like I'm gonna be real with you. I watched that shit on bootleg. I didn't see no after credits.
Oh, maybe not after credits. Maybe it's the scene before the end. No, because the after credits in Eternals is like Eros and Pit, right?
Mm.
I'm just saying the last thing we see before the movie ends is basically like one of the Eternals coming, like, I'm coming to like judge you all or something, or saying like you all are cool this time, but no, don't let it happen again or something, right? Like
But
you
it's
see, like,
confirms that
It
he's
was-
Celestial is showed at the end.
But it's
Yeah.
not the one that was in Earth. Like not the
no, it's not that one. No, I agree.
Yeah.
They stopped
But-
the one that was in Earth. Yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying. Like if you want to compare it to the Transformers movies, like Unicron is that Celestial that they stopped.
in the old one, not in this one.
Yeah, in the old one. Yeah, the continuity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, and this is the thing where for me, and you know, I'll get to this. I'll get to that. But keep put a pin in that thought, because I have thoughts on Unicron, sons of bitches. Anyway, right? Thank you.
Opinion.
So keep in mind that up until this point, I haven't even mentioned any like Maximals, right? Like, you know, like this is Rise of the Beast. I haven't mentioned no Beast yet. So it's at this point where you have like the Terracons. I keep wanting to call them Predacons,
But you
but
shouldn't.
they're not. But they're not.
'Cause
And,
none
and
of
that's
them
for
are
the
really
best.
real Predacons, right? Like they're
No,
not.
no, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
for the best. Here's the thing, though. None of them are Terracons either, though. Terracons are a thing too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, for those of us that actually know and like what Terracons are, I'm like, listen, if they wanted to have Terracons, like Terracons might even fit better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, Scourge is not like, and this is like one of my things about the movie, right? Where I'm sorry. Look, you know I love Transformers. I'm sorry. Listen, so from the perspective of like a person that's like, okay, Scourge is never somebody's big bad. You know what I'm saying? Where you're like, oh, we're all gonna be shaking on our boots because of Scourge. Like, that's not gonna happen from a Transformers perspective, you know? But you could take liberties with the character, and maybe you can make it a big bad that's worthy of, you know, whatever. Like, I'm not a big fan of these Transformers movies, but at least when you had like Megatron on the screen in the first live action Transformers, it's like, okay, he feels like he's the big bad guy. You know what I'm saying? In the second one, I don't remember. Is it Galvatron in the second one? I don't remember. It doesn't
remember the
matter.
details. I just remember Robot Heaven and Gonad.
That's where Jay is like, oh my god, right, okay, yeah. But anyway, Scourge from a friggin' Transformers perspective, and this is like across the board. Like Scourge is like low-level henchman dude. But even if you're gonna mess around and be like, okay, we're gonna use Scourge, you could try to like, glow up Scourge. So he's like, oh man, this fool, like this version of Scourge is dangerous. I never got that from this character in this entire movie. Like this dude felt like a minion the whole time. Like honestly, the dude whose name I didn't know felt more of a threat. And Hexzilla says, "What movie is Robot Heaven in?" That's definitely
that was Transformers 2.
Yeah,
that's Dark of the
Chadwick
Moon, right?
Wiki dies and goes to Robot Heaven, and then they send him back.
That's Dark of the Moon, right?
Yeah, and that's supposed to be the Allspark Robot Heaven.
What is? Listen, right? Sure.
Look, we brought Beast Wars in it. Like, we want to get into that. That's Robot Heaven is the Allspark.
No, Jesus, man. But anyway, if you're gonna call them Terracons, and you're gonna have like Maximals in it anyway, and they kind of established the whole thing where it's like, oh, we've been fighting against these Terracons for millennia, trying to stop them from bringing Unicron and all that kind of stuff, right? It's like the Terracons that are actually Terracons in G1 are like monster Decepticons. Like the leader of the Terracons is a dude that's a Hungar that's like literally transforms into like a two-headed dragon. Like that joint would have been awesome to see. And that would have felt like somebody that would have been like, oh, okay, like this fool is dangerous. Wasn't in the movie, right? No. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is like the person they put in the movie was like damn near forgettable. And I was just like, wow, like this is so weird. Like there's a lot of strange choices. But and I'm sorry, I should digress. Like I was telling you this story about like what's happening in the movie. Technically, you do see like in a preamble, you start off with seeing some of the Maximals, because you do see them like escape from the planet or whatever.
What planet? Cybertron?
Listen, no one knows, Mo. Nondescript planet. Here's the thing. Like being a person that actually watched Beast Wars and understands like what happened in that show, I'm not certain what parts of the lore they are or aren't pulling from in this movie. And not only do I not understand, I'm not sure if they like definitively made a choice. I feel like they might have intentionally kept it vague, just so that like they're like, oh well, if we say it like this, we don't have to commit to one way or the other. Like it's like the kind of thing where, based on what I saw in the movie,
it's like they didn't have faith in their movie.
I mean, I don't even know if they didn't have faith. I just don't know if it was like they're like nobody's gonna ask those questions except for the hardest of core fans, and I think they just decided that those fans don't matter. And guess what? I think they're right.
That's in tradition with all Transformers movies.
Exactly, and that's exactly the point I'm making. Where it's like, it turns out that the cast that actually are like, because so many other people that either aren't horrorcore fans or are horrorcore fans but are just happy to see Transformers on screen are just like, why are we nitpicking, or why are we going this deep? And it's like, well, it's not deep. It's like literally like, look, friggin' Maximals, like these joints, or Beast Wars, like these robots came from the future to the past, and it's like in this movie, I don't know if that's what happened or not. Like they kind of intimate that maybe, but then they kind of intimate not, like, so maybe that is what happened. Maybe he did. Like literally Optimus Primal said some kind of BS where he was like, wait, what was the line, Jay? Do you remember the line? He says something like,
till all are one.
That does get said, but no, that's not what I'm talking about. Like he says something like, "We are like warriors from your warriors from your future fighting in your past, fighting or I don't remember." He said something about future and past in a line, and I'm just like, that's vague as hell. Like that's not the answer to Optimus Prime's question at all. It was like, wow.
I know you're still trying to do like the plot of the movie.
No, but don't worry about it. We're past that now.
Honestly, we don't need to do that. Like the people that watched it that are tuning in want to see what we think about it, and they're asking the same questions I want to see. Like, how awesome was Rampage in it?
There is no Rampage.
Okay, was there a protoform?
There are no protoforms.
Okay. Fuck. And there's no Predacons, so that means there's no
Predacons.
No Wasp.
Right. No Rat Trap.
No Rat Trap.
No Rat
Trap. I will say that was one of the things that bummed me out because he was like one of my favorites.
Rat Trap is the shit. Like
I agree.
He's the one that saves the day half the time, but they order him to save the day because he's like, we're all gonna fucking die. Right. Because he's a demolitions man, and they sent him on this mission across space and time, and he's like, I didn't sign up for this. I'm literally just blowing holes so you can dig for scientific materials. I'm not here as
Rat Trap.
Rat
Trap's like Steve Buscemi's character in Armageddon.
Yeah.
Really, Rat Trap is the scout that would deserve the glow up that Bumblebee got.
Yeah. Here's the thing is he didn't need a glow up in like look. He did it through a story and character development.
Right. Right.
Like, he fucking looked at Dinobot dead night and says, I don't fucking trust you. I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah.
In the Bronx accent.
Right. Right.
Because he's like,
exactly.
And he goes, well, I'm a lizard. I like to eat rats. Yeah. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you have to go watch Beast Wars. You're going to have a better time than this movie. I mean, maybe not a better time than this movie because, maybe you got a hand job by the dude you're seeing or whatever. But, like, yeah, because I definitely don't see a dude taking a chick to go see this movie. So it's gonna be Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month.
No, it is.
I mean, you two dudes gonna see it, right? Yeah. Any you two drive stick shift during the movie?
Listen, I promise you.
A little popcorn. Hey, did you do a popcorn?
Look, I promise you, this movie is disappointing enough that I'm not certain that would make it better, a better experience for me. They did have
in any way, shape, or form.
So the movie is very strange in the fact that there's a lot of random deep cut stuff that happens in it. Like literally to the point where there was a deep cut that one right in the beginning where I was like, I didn't know anything about it. There's a right there. Bam! Thank you, Jay. Tiger Claw says in the movie there's a Maximal named Ape Link. I don't know anything about Ape Link, and apparently, Ape Link is an Optimus Primal recolor / custom that was exclusive to a particular BotCon that where it had every BotCon, which is the Transformers convention.
Yeah.
So BotCon.
You mean to tell me that's where they decided to follow the fandom?
This is what I'm saying. So this random look here's how much I don't even know about this character until just now when Tiger Claw made his comment. I thought Ape Link was spelled like Link from Legend of Zelda, And I was like, oh, was it you? I didn't know that joint. Like I'm saying, I don't know anything about Ape Link because I didn't go to the BotCon and get the exclusive character because I don't want a friggin' like Optimus Primal redeco. I don't need that in my life. And these BotCon exclusives usually come with like a comic that is exclusive to, that's exclusive to the character, and which is awesome. And there's been some really amazing, like some of the characters that have entered into like mainstream kind of Transformer stuff, like some of the Seekers, where you see like those Seekers that are like additional colors, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Acid Rain, which is the lime green Seeker jet.
I thought it
looks like Starscream. No, but like Acid Rain is like, like looks like Starscream, but like in green. I feel like that was one of those characters that might have been like a BotCon exclusive, and they had made a comic about it and all that kind of stuff. Some of them, like, enter the mainstream. But Ape Link, I don't think is one of them. and
now,
right, exactly. And so when this fool came on screen, I'll give him this kind of credit. I'll give him this much credit. When this character came on screen, I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's not Optimus Primal. And I knew that immediately, even though Ape Link is an ape. But Optimus Primal came later, and I was just like, okay, so then we got two gorillas. And I'm just like, huh, like, I don't know where this is going. And, the events of the movie transpire, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But I'm just like, until after the movie, I'm talking to Raymond, and Raymond's like, oh yeah, Ape Link, that's a deep cut. And I'm just like, I don't know anything about that. Like, that's how deep the cut is. Me, as a friggin' fairly hardcore Transformers fan, I'm like, I don't know what that is. It's like, keeping in mind that, Transformers is a big enough fandom that there's different sections. You can't, not everybody is first in everything.
If you want to impress me, I have Quick Strike in
it. Quick Strike would be interesting. Wow. That would be interesting. But here's the thing. So random Ape Link. And then again, one of the other Terracons is Nightbird. This is another kind of deep cut. Like there's literally like one episode of G1 that has this character in it. And I'm just like, who decided we need Nightbird? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Nightbird is a random like robot ninja. Robot ninja assassin. And I'm just like, why did they just like, I don't even understand. And I know that we were speculating about it, and part of us were, we were kind of thinking like part of it might be about rights to certain names. But Nightbird, like, you don't need that name. That's not an important name. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. It's a weird and wild thing. Like, I don't understand how they make the decisions they make.
What's the depth charge do in it?
See, there's no depth charge. Eventually, the Maximals and the Autobots, there's Nightbird. That's what the original Nightbird looks like. And the character in the movie, like, I feel like, honestly, first of all, most people don't know what that character is. I do believe that if you do know what that character is, half of those people that know who that character is will look at that and be able to see the character that was in the movie. But only half of them, because the only thing that really looks like Nightbird is the face. And if you're not familiar with the face and like the kind of like what that looks like, then there's no way that you look at that and be like, okay, it's Nightbird. Look, Mo, I know you're a big Airazor fan.
Mm-hmm.
And Airazor, I will say, I think Airazor probably is one of the more significant. Well, no, she's definitely. There's only a couple of significant Maximals in this joint, and she's one of them.
Who's the other?
I would say Optimus Primal.
Okay. She is Airazor is a great character, and
Yes.
what they do with their in Beast Wars is really cool.
Yes.
But none of that really happened here, right? Like,
no. Not
Yeah.
only does it not happen here, but you're going to be thoroughly disappointed with the rendition of Air Razor. I'm certain.
okay, who does her voice?
Michelle
it's,
Yeoh.
Yeah.
Okay, that
No. Michelle Yeoh's performance is fantastic.
yeah.
It's not about like Michelle and Michelle Yeoh could have brought so much more to this character.
Well, it's the writing. Like honestly, like
Yeah, 100%.
Like some part of a especially like if they actually made the we're heroes from your future fighting in our past or whatever the line was.
Yeah, I don't even know what the line. Right, exactly.
If it's that thing, like, but I mean, Air Razor I think had like 2 episodes. Like her origin it was like a mini movie because they were all fighting for that protoform, and she kind of choose who she was. Like it's more philosophical, which is part of the beauty of Beast Wars because it becomes a little bit more philosophical about what it means to be a Maximal or a Predacon, whereas Autobots and Decepticons was just linear. Right. Here it's 100%. Like you can choose who you be, but you know you could still be a Maximal and be bad. You know, like it's a little more fluid in ideology, and that it gets more philosophical as it goes. And I think that my brother who loved Transformers, like he's G1, all that was his thing, and he really like when he saw like Beast Wars, and it made him it created a loving of that stuff for him because it expanded the universe for him in a way that he could be he can attach a lot of that philosophy to the stuff he saw back then. He would make the connections, and he's like so but yeah, ultimately like the movie doesn't seem like, to me, like if I could tell you what the merit of the series is, would be that, aside from whatever action it had or story plot or connections to the older stuff, it's really just the ideological philosophical entanglements. You know, like even just Waspinator on his own, like he being treacherous, you know, but he wasn't even treacherous. Like he just wanted to do the right thing, and it really, like, Waspinator was a character that everybody just counted him out, and he's the one that survived the entire apocalypse and everything because nobody counted on him, but he counted on himself, you know,
right?
You know,
and I do believe. Oh, go ahead.
Like where he's like, yeah, he's loyal to the Decepticon cause, but he's really like, let me do my thing too. Like he's like the Dr. Mengele of the Nazis. He's like, yeah, you're gonna take over the world, but but I need you to take over the world so I can do this. You know,
you're talking about Tarantulas, you said.
Yeah, Tarantulas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then you know you have Death Charge and Rampage, like, and they're all like Death Charge, like he said, I'm a Maximal, but I'm not going to be a Maximal with you guys. You know, you guys are on that bullshit. You know,
right?
I'm stay in the ocean. You know,
yeah, giant manta. Yeah,
right.
I had Depth Charge. It's a good toy.
Yeah, amazing toy. And but in the cartoon, it's like really like, hey, if you need I got your back when you're down here. If you're on land, he's like Aquaman in a sense, like a good way of doing Aquaman, where he's like,
he's more like Namor.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because he's like, hey, I got your back here. Whatever you're doing up there is some bullshit, but you're
right
here, and I need to protect down here, like because it was more of also nurturing. That's what I loved about Beast Wars 2, because it is more like Star Trek in a sense, because you want to. They're having this war without trying to affect the development of this planet, and they're gonna affect it one way or another for sure, but they're also not trying to fuck with the Autobot and Cybertron and Decepticon timeline, but they're also trying to preserve this planet and protect it from the collateral damage, and you see it in these different dynamics. And I have a feeling this movie didn't do that at all.
No, it didn't. And another thing that I do think you have to give the original Beast Wars series, I think, props for or credit for is I think they did pioneer the idea, like you said, of there being shades of gray between, the good guys and the bad guys.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Transformers had done that before Beast Wars.
Like Black Arachnia is another really good character because she's evil by
Yeah.
nature, not nurture. The whole concept of nature and nurture is a big part of Beast Wars, but she's evil, but aligns herself with the good because she's like, it's about survival at this point because they are stranded,
Right.
And then she falls in love with Silverbolt, which is beautiful.
Yeah, Silverbolt's awesome. I love that. Was another good toy. I love that toy. Damn, Silverbolt. Look, and this fool, like his transformation got all messed up. This fool is like a mythical creature.
Yeah, exactly. Chimera. Yeah.
But anyway, man,
because they scan two different pieces, genetic material. So, Quick Strike was another. Like he's a Scorpion Cobra.
Right.
And
Jay, look, you're a Transformers fan, Jay. Why don't you tell us what your thoughts are on this movie, man? Because look, I feel like I've definitely been going on too much.
Honestly, it is one of the better live action movies.
It definitely cleared that low bar.
Yeah. Like as someone that's seen all of these movies.
Oh, have you seen all of them, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast are really refreshing for how coherent the story is.
I'm gonna give you a hug next time I see you in person. I'm like, Jesus, I'm just happy that you're still like a normal person.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not good. And there are a couple of things that there are a few things that bug me. Like there's this huge fight at the end that didn't feel deserved or warranted. Very unnecessary. Probably studio mandated because there was no reason for it. And there's this one part where it's just fucking stupid. Optimus Prime is getting sucked into a black hole, and Noah, the human, grabs Prime to stop him from getting sucked in. And it's just so dumb.
Well, he's wearing an exosuit though, Joe.
He's a human.
But he's wearing an exosuit.
But also, like you're talking about movies where didn't like Mark Wahlberg stop a sword with his hand?
right. And I only mentioned
like you can stop a sword with your hand.
What, Jay? What are you talking nonsense, Jay?
Dude, I've seen people do it.
Jay, it was a giant robot sword being swung, and Mark Wahlberg stopped it with his. He wasn't wearing an exosuit. He was just he was just like Mark Wahlberg. Come on, man. Listen. This is why I even mentioned the exosuit because it makes sense in either situation, only because it's not the Mark Wahlberg. Like I stopped the broadsword from the giant alien robot with my own biceps. Like that's all. That's the whole reason I make that distinction. So it's like, no, it wasn't that. They're both garbage and terrible, but it wasn't that garbage and terrible. It's a new and improved type of garbage and terrible.
And speaking of exosuits, him being in one and not transforming seemed like, I mean, if Daniel could do it.
Well, that's the whole thing in Earthspark right now. Like the humans transform too.
Are you watching Earthspark?
No.
Listen, I actually was like, I saw a still image from what I'm assuming was Earthspark, and I was like, damn, do I need to be watching that show? I might need to be watching that show.
You should. You should. If you watch that shit movie, you should. If you're like
exactly.
or here taking Tugboat, who says I too have watched every Transformers movie. So my condolences, Mr. J. So if you're like that, you're not watching Earthspark. Like at least Earthspark still has a good story.
No, I'm sure it's a palate cleanser in comparison.
What's it on? Like, where can I watch it?
Paramount Plus.
And it's not for sale separately? I have to subscribe?
No, you have to use my password. I gave you my password.
Okay.
But yeah, man. But Jay's right. Like, it was a ridiculous scene. But here's the thing.
Now, they do fix it and have Optimus Primal come grab Optimus.
No, they don't fix it.
Does Optimus Primal have the two like scimitars like in his feet?
I wasn't looking at his feet.
No is the right answer to that question. No. Listen, here's what I'm gonna say to you, Moses. And this is a bit of a spoiler, but I'm saying this to you so you don't go and watch this movie in a theater. So that you can just like wait for it to come onto streaming and you can watch it there. There was a point in this movie where I was just like, do the people that made this movie know that Maximals turn into robots? Like, do they know that? Like, there was a point where I was just like, do they know?
They don't transform?
Hey, what I'm telling you is, I got far enough into the movie that I was just like, I don't know if they know this or not. And so
I know in the cartoon they had a reason they were mostly in the animal form.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is true.
Search.
Right.
Yeah.
But they still made it a point to make sure that they turn into robots every so often, even in that show, when their lives were at stake.
It was literally it was just like Sailor Moon. Like they would do the whole like transformation, you know.
How's it go, Mo? Show us one more time. There it is.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. It was fuck. I loved it in Power Rangers. I loved it in Sailor Moon. I loved it in fucking like in Beast Wars. You could actually watch those transformations, and if you had a VHS, like I record every episode, so I would play it slow so I can learn how to transform my toy because especially once it got to like Optimal Optimus or Transmetals because. Those shits were intricate, man. If you
they were more
around, you break those motherfuckers.
It's true. So yeah, man. So I'm just like, what you're looking for from this movie, Moses, you're not gonna get. So don't.
Okay.
Yeah, don't. I don't want you to like go and make a like. I don't know. I'll say this. There's a part of you that might want to just see it on a movie screen, and that's okay. If that's what you, but just know that's not going to give you.
I have a big enough TV screen, and I don't have to deal with people.
Right, and or you just may not want to wait, even though I'm sure there's going to be a short amount of time. Like I don't feel like this is joint. You're not going to have to wait long.
Honestly, my thing with it was like, fuck, I love the Beasts, and
yeah.
It's like that now they're raping my childhood, so I should at least be there. But I couldn't be there. I was trying to see it on Sunday.
Dodge it, man. Listen. On
Sunday that I couldn't see it. So.
I am very happy that I went to go see it with two of my closest friends, with Jay and with friggin' Raymond. And like I felt like okay, like they understand why I'm feeling what I feel. You know what I'm saying? like
what's a better experience for like a Sunday afternoon? I know you guys went on a Sunday afternoon, but like watching this movie. Or like sitting next to a corpse.
Do I like the corpse?
Yeah, whose corpse is it? Is it? It's like
it was my dad's corpse.
Oh,
I don't know your dad, so probably the movie.
Okay, me neither. So yeah, probably the movie.
Now, one of the things I was disappointed in
BJ.
was how they showed Unicron eating a planet. They did not do it well. It was so unintricate. It was pretty disappointing. And I went to IMAX specifically to see Unicron eat shit. And the portrayal was pretty disappointing.
So
one of the upsides though of this movie is that the humans weren't as annoying as they normally are. Like normally they are just the worst part of the movie. 100%. And this time there's like everything's just equally bad.
It's so true. It's the right way to put it though. It's like nothing is especially bad. It's just all bad in one way. One note.
Right.
I heard the GI.
They also missed a huge opportunity, or not a huge opportunity, but there is a scene from the 85 movie where Unicron is torturing Galvatron over something, and they had a similar scene. But the best part of that torture scene was Scourge telling Galvatron, like, remember, we belong to him, and they didn't do that, and I was disappointed. Like, you have Ape Link, but you can't have someone say we belong to him?
Hey, I'm with you on that, Jay. 86 is when the Transformers, the movie came out.
I'm bad with dates.
No, I look close enough. I'm just telling. I was putting it out there for.
He correlates 1986 with Slayer's release of South of Heaven.
Look, it all happened. Look, it was an amazing year. It was an amazing year. All of that. But Jay is absolutely right. Like that would have been pretty amazing. And and it's wild though because it's like. Well, actually, no. I like the only part of Transformers the movie, like the 1986, the Transformers the movie, that was referenced in this movie, is there was a small like hint of the Unicron theme in the music, and it's very faint, and it's like literally like it's like the kind of thing where. You need to be somebody that owns and has listened to the Transformers the movie soundtrack often. It's not the kind of thing. Say again?
Since 1986.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like it's literally that where it's like it's not the kind of thing where you're just like, oh, yeah, I remember that from the movie because I saw it before. No, it's like literally the kind of thing where it's like this music is like a part of you. So when you are listening to this new score in this movie, you can hear the hints of it in the song, and it's cool. Like, like I'm not mad at it or anything. I'm just like, okay, I heard it. And it's like it was in fact there, but that's like I think the only thing from Transformers the movie.
It wasn't just the Unicron theme, was it?
No, it's not. No, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's not like.
No, I mean that wasn't the only thing they did it with. Like I feel like there was a couple of themes in the movie. Like I remember hearing
like from Transformers the movie.
Well, I remember hearing the theme song from the cartoon in one of the scenes.
Yeah. I mean, I believe that probably happened, but that's not. That's no, the touch. And I'm sure that there was like some form of the Transformers theme in the movie, but the Transformers theme is ubiquitous. You know what I'm saying? Like this.
Speaking of, if I could tangent. for just a small tangent.
You may not.
Someone was talking online saying that the Touch gets like a lot of hype or talk about it, but Dare is the best song on the soundtrack.
Ooh.
And I'm like,
Ooh.
no, it absolutely is not. Like,
Right.
it's good. I can see
Oh yeah.
why you
No,
would
Dare's
like
great.
it, but
Yeah.
it's absolutely not the best song on the soundtrack. You
No.
got Hunger. You have
Yeah. Yeah.
literally almost every other song
Yeah.
is better than Dare.
Well, no, listen, I'm not gonna go that far, but I agree with you. Like, there are better songs than Dare. Look, Dare to be stupid. Dare to be stupid, which is, I mean, Weird Al Yankovic, which is probably the only person that was on the Transformers the movie soundtrack that actually has a career since the movie. You know, it's like
dude, like the main dude was in the band. The dude that wrote The Touch. Like he's like in
Stan Bush.
Yeah, like he was in like Whitesnake or something. Like
No,
yeah, he had a career.
I'm not saying he didn't have a career. I'm saying
Yeah.
so you. Let me put it like this.
All right, look, not as successful as Weird Al. All right.
That's all I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm just how it compared. Like Stan Bush peaked at maybe The Touch.
Nah, man, slip of the tongue.
Well, what is Stan Bush? Slip of the tongue?
I mean, if he was in Whitesnake, I don't know if he was or wasn't, but I remember him being part. I remember him being part of one of those bands that did like I mean, all those bands, all those hair bands were like not one hit wonder, but they had two good albums that peaked. You know, so ultimately, like, yeah, you're right. Ultimately, you're right, but he could have been in the Scorpions. You don't know.
I don't know. Like I listen. I'm not sure. Like
There's
what
a few of
bands?
those bands that still like tour still, and
But
make
then-
a living, but I don't think
Okay,
he might not have been in one of those.
Tiger Claw says, hate to break it to you guys. The way Transformers movies are going, expect more humans. No, the animated joint, there probably won't be any humans in that. Like, it takes place fully on Cybertron.
Is he talking about? Is he talking about a end credit scene or something?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Taken Tugboat says, hell yeah, give me the 86 version. Robots killing till you got the touch.
I cut somebody.
Trying to pick out so many. Like, man.
It's so good.
I cut somebody's hair today that told me that he doesn't like. I don't know how true it is or whatever. I'm like, he's like, I don't want to spoil it to you. I spoil it because it's been ruined already. I know it's ruined. So yeah, he said that the GI Joes are in it, and that
right.
Yeah, is that a true statement?
The final scene
Yeah.
is one of the Joes.
Okay.
And yeah, like they're basically hinting at a G.I. Joe Transformers movie and or just bringing a Hasbro cinematic universe.
Okay.
Or like something. We don't know for sure.
So this dude is like, I don't like that they're doing that. That just doesn't feel right. And I'm like,
did you tell him read fucking comics?
Yes, I did. I read some fucking comics, and I go see. I actually have it on my phone. I'm like, I keep meaning to print this shirt, and he's like, "What? I got my designs right here." And he goes, I go, "Was Spider-Man in it?" I said, and he's like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, because in the comics, it's Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Spider-Man."
It is.
Read some fucking comics. They should have been that shit 10 years ago. They should have started trying to do a G.I. Joe crossover thing the moment they decided to make these movies. What they should have done is try to make them good. But if you're not gonna do that, at least give me the Hasbro universe with Spider-Man.
Well, at least the second G.I. Joe didn't suck.
honestly, I enjoyed both of them, but I the first one wasn't good, but I still enjoyed it, and I felt like the second one kind of tried to make it better without having to like restart it. And to me, like that's
Mm-hmm.
really it. Is like build up. Okay, this is where you failed. Be better. Be best.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then
Be
I
best.
mean, the second one did have like some really huge flaws, but
yeah, but in the third one could fix all those too. You know, and then we
Yeah.
just keep getting good.
like overall, I do like the second one, but it's basically the lack of Yo Joe and the lack and killing off characters just because you don't want to use them. It's like it's G.I. Joe. Like you don't have to focus on the same characters each and every time. Like it doesn't make sense to kill them off.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I have mixed feelings in regards to the whole potential for a G.I. Joe crossover because, like, you know, I do read comics.
You're afraid the movies aren't going to be good?
No, I'm not afraid. Like, I can almost guarantee the movies aren't going to be good, but
They're already not good. It's like they're going to ruin the franchise.
No, absolutely. That's the whole thing where I'm just like I don't know. Like it's almost like one of those things where it's a spectacle, right? Like, and ultimately, like it's messing around and watching, like somebody get hit by a car. You know, like I don't know if I want to mess around and actually see that joint. Like, you know, especially like if I can prevent it. Like if I could be like, hey, look out. you know, like I feel like I should be like, look out. But there are people that are like,
after school and watch The Faces of Death.
Dude, I've only seen Faces of Death one time, and it was in college. And I was like, I'm like, dude, why do people watch this? I don't even understand it. I was like halfway through, and I was like, I'm done. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not built for this at all.
Yeah, I didn't do that either.
Like, look, huh?
I heard it was fake.
Yeah, a lot of it was. But
that could be so. Either way, I'm just like, why would people watch this? Like, you know, I understand. I get it. A lot of people wanted to watch it. I know I'm in the minority on this, but I was just like, nah, I'm not made for that. So I stopped. I'm good. But anyway, dude, yeah, this movie. Here's the main thing for me. Oh, go ahead. What's Tiger talking about?
Just imagine Optimus Prime bonding with Duke.
No, thank you.
Says I was out after the first scene in Faces of Death.
Yeah, I could believe that.
We'll see.
So listen, here's another thing. Again, and this kind of goes in line with what I was telling you earlier about if the people understand about Maximals that they turn into robots. I went to a movie and it has not a perfect, but a presentable Unicron in it. If I have Unicron there on my screen, at some point I want to see Unicron transform from a planet into a giant robot. I don't get no Unicron giant robot in this movie. And I'm just like, well, why do we even have Unicron? Like, why didn't we just have a Death Star? You know, like I'm just like I don't understand.
Blow up planets, they don't eat them.
No, it doesn't matter. Like it could just like it doesn't matter.
How many planets does Unicron eat in this movie?
One.
Okay. It doesn't matter, and that's the whole point.
It was one of the weird things I thought was when Unicron is headed to Earth, and I know why they did it, but it's still weird. But they did like the whole black cloud surrounding the Earth.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of like Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I like, why did they do like? It's I know why they did it, but it was a bad choice.
Why did they do it, Jay? I don't know why. Tell me.
To basically stop the population from seeing Unicron.
I mean, but it was daytime, right?
Yeah. Like, they still would have seen him, but they don't want the public to know about the giant robots.
Oh, well, listen, lame. That's lame. I don't know, man. I'm just like, I don't even understand how they could keep the giant robots out of the public eye. Like, I'm just saying, it's like if I was famous,
How awesome was Rhinox in it?
Listen,
Rhinox did nothing.
Listen,
really?
Like, Peter did more than he did, and he did nothing either.
It's true.
And I like Peter almost.
Mo, I'm telling you, like,
not really, but I just like his banter with Rat Trap. Like, in the context of him and Rat Trap, I like him, but on his own, he's kind of lame. At least to me. That's a personal thing.
You're not gonna get anything you want from this movie, Mo. So that's why I'm telling you, like, just wait till it comes to streaming.
Unless you want Peruvian Wheeljack,
dude. Wait, and here's the thing where I've only seen 2 Transformers movies outside of this one in their entirety. Okay, I saw the first 2, and then I've seen this one in its entirety. What I can say to you is that Jay is absolutely correct in the sense that this movie is far more coherent from a story perspective than the 2 I've seen. And what I've heard is they progressively get worse, which is mind-blowing to me, because the first one was terrible and the second one was really, really bad too. So I don't even understand how it gets worse than that, but whatever. What I can tell you, though, is this. Even in this movie, which I can recognize has a better narrative structure, when we talk about Wheeljack and, you know, like like Joe mentioned already, the Transformers go to Peru. We've established like a handful of robots. Well, actually, it's only the 3, right? It's that's not true.
Mirage, Bumblebee, and fucking RC, man.
Oh, look, RC is one of the better robots. Like, RC at least looks like RC. I can't
take that Ducati on her thigh. It's
but she looks like RC though.
Is she
not quite?
Is she Cheetor's great grandmother?
She doesn't have the backpack.
Cheetor's great grandmother. Look, no one knows, Mo. No one knows. Like, outside of Optimus Prime, I feel like RC is the only robot that you would be able to look at and be like, that's who it is supposed to be. Like, even Bumblebee doesn't look like Bumblebee. Like, you know who he is because it's yellow. But if Bumblebee was, if you saw that design but in grayscale, you wouldn't be like, oh, that's Bumblebee. You'd just be like, some robot. Bumblebee don't look like Bumblebee. Mirage don't look like Mirage. The only people that look like what they're supposed to look like is RC and Optimus. But I'll give you that, Jay. Like, you're right. There is no backpack, and it's not like RC turns into the car she's supposed to turn into. She turns into a motorcycle instead, or whatever.
Which I just like that more and more. But the Ducati on her thigh, like, that is just bugging me.
Chicks have tattoos, Jay. I need you to get over it.
No, not RC.
She's a thotty.
Tiger Hawk.
She belongs to the streets, Jay. She belongs to the streets.
Tiger Hawk doing it.
Tiger Hawk. Tiger Hawk. But wait. I'm sorry. What I'm trying to say is this: is there's a point where these fools go to Peru, and when they get there, Wheeljack just comes up over a hill. And it's just like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. With his, I guess it's a Peruvian accent. He's definitely some sort of Latin, because the human is like, hey, you're from the neighborhood like I'm from the neighborhood. I'm just like, That's a weird scene, but okay, you know. Like, I'm not saying he shouldn't notice. I'm just saying, like, he's treating him like he's like, oh, dude, you obviously grew up where I grew up. And it's like, well, obviously not, because he's a giant alien robot. You know, but he's treating him like, hey, chopped cheese. Like me. Like, you know, he's like, wait, I know you from the bodega. They're like, you don't know him from the bodega because he's a giant alien robot. Like, everybody in the bodega would remember him because it's a giant alien. He don't even fit in the bodega. But you know, if he was a friggin' Maximal, at least you could be like, well, maybe he was the cat, but he's not the cat. You know, so I'm just like, I don't know. But but when I tell you, Mo, this fool just comes over the hill, and we're just like, why was Wheeljack in Peru? No one. I guess we got to buy the comic for that. the
I'm not
prequel.
buying that comic.
Oh, Jay, I need you to buy the prequel Transformers book so we can all get the backstory on why Wheeljack.
Real?
No, I don't know. Probably not.
I'm gonna check.
Probably not.
How was Inferno?
Man, come on, Mo. Listen, you know how much I love ants. You know, if Inferno was in this movie, all I'd be talking about is Inferno. That's all I'd be talking about. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know where Wheeljack came from. I don't know why he was like, he didn't travel to Peru with everybody else. So he was either there already or he came in his own way that never got mentioned. But it was strange. And like they don't, it's not even like a thing where somebody like even was like, oh, we're glad. I don't even think anybody was like, oh, glad you could join us. It was just like, they're like, yeah, we're glad you're here now. And Jerry is absolutely right. Like, Wheeljack looks nothing like Wheeljack. So it's just kind of like, why are we even doing Wheeljack? Like, why? Like, it could have been anybody. But I don't know. Anyway, we should rate this movie.
Is Night Scream in it?
Moses, what do you think, Mo?
So it looks like there's a children's book adaptation.
Oh man, they're making our kids Transformers fans. I don't want them transing our kids.
Hey, listen, I think I'm with Mo on this one. We should ban that book.
Yeah.
We should ban that book.
Can we have it shipped to Florida?
It's hurting our kids.
Yeah.
It's hurting our kids.
Yeah.
It's like they're getting used to the poor narrative structure.
Florida ships their wet bags here. Can we ship those books there?
Whoa.
Well, that's what the Florida did. Florida sent their immigrants here. We could send all our garbage there. Like it'll be
So that might explain why Wheeljack is there.
Yeah.
Oh, that book? You think that book might actually explain it?
Florida's migration policy.
Well, that happens I hear that happens a lot in movie adaptation books. Like they get the notes from the script writers and they add and subtract things. So it's not just the stuff that's in the movie. They have access to extra materials to put in the books.
Okay. All right. Listen, we should just rate this. Jay, let's rate this joint. What would you rate Transformers: Rise of the Beast?
It's coherent. I guess that's worth the 3. Maybe, yeah. 2.5. Because it is pretty bad, but it's not as bad as it could have been a lot worse.
That's Jay's glowing review. Like that. I hope they put that on the back of the Blu-ray. It could have been a lot worse. Jay, Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I'll stick with that. 2.5. It could have been a lot worse.
Jay, can you also say there's no Night Scream in it? So it could have been a lot worse. There's no Night Scream. Put that behind.
I can't say that.
Yeah. Well, I'm rating this joint. Look. if you're gonna give it 2.5, I'm gonna give it 1.5 because I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, I will say because I've seen the others, I do have an appreciation for this one not completely sucking.
Yeah, no, and I agree with everything. Like all the upsides you said, I think are true in my limited experience. Like, you know, like I don't have any issues with Shia LaBeouf, but he's terrible in those Transformers movies. Like it's I can't. I don't. I've seen a fair amount of his work, but I've never seen anything that he's been in that's worse than the Transformers movies. And that's not even like about the Transformers themselves. That's like literally about like the script and how he chooses to portray the character
and direction.
In those. Yeah, it's like those like, and so it is 100% like the humans in this at least act like people for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, Shia LaBeouf in Transformers 2 like stops acting like a person in like a quarter of the movie.
Well, but see, that's the beauty of that movie. And actually, I got to give props to.
That's no beauty. Why is that beauty?
No, I give props to Taking Tugboat. Like, even the character was like, you know what? You don't need any humans in this movie. Like, his whole point in the second movie is like, I don't want any part of this. Like, even in the story. And that's like, even the character knew that this movie's better without humans. That's Taking Tugboat. Yeah, but that's the director. Not Shia LaBeouf's fault.
Well, he could say no. Listen, Devil's too good to be in these movies. But listen, I guess I can say that because
until then.
No, I don't believe that's true. Like he read the script, but what I'll say is, that
nobody knew he was too good for the movies.
Oh, maybe that might be true.
If it wasn't for Transformers, he never would have gotten to be an Eagle Eye.
That might be true. That could be true. Look, what I will say is this: is
that's just why Enemy of the State, right?
Yes.
White
with the AI bad guy.
Wait, listen. No, that's not. I mean, okay, all right. We'll say that. All right. What I will say is this:
Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye is terrible, and we all know it.
Hey. What I'm trying to say is that damn it. Look, no, you know what? I lost it. I lost it, Jay, because of you.
He lost his astro train of thought.
That's what it was.
Speaking of things that are like pitifully mediocre, I saw the trailer for Isom #2. And the trailer is animated. And it got me thinking, like, I would much rather watch a boring Isom cartoon than read a boring Isom comic. Like, have you seen this trailer?
I have not, but you could just avoid all of it.
Oh, that's definitely the better solution.
Nah.
But I mean, if I had to pick one.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Ugh. Yeah.
So should we move on?
Yeah, we should. Let's talk about Bleed Them Dry. Moses. Oh.
Woo! Comic book review. Comic book like review.
Well, not like that, but like.
Lovely.
Taking Tugboat says you never seen Disturbia? It's where Shia LaBeouf is on house arrest and getting stalked. Yeah,
the trailer made it look like Rear Window with kids.
It is.
So I passed on that because
that's what it is.
I would rather watch Rear Window.
Yeah.
Disturbia.
You saw it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Rear Window?
I mean, it yeah, like Mo says, it is, but no. It's not.
It changes. Like he doesn't have a broken leg, but he has an anklet because
it is the concept, but I mean, when you say is it Rear Window, it's like no, it's not Rear Window. But it's not like they feel like this. Disturbia is a
Rear Window.
Disturbia is a much better movie than Transformers 1 or 2.
I believe that.
And Eagle Eye.
Like, you know what? All of them. Listen, I've never seen a Shia LaBeouf movie as bad as the Transformers movies.
Like, actually, he does a really, like, as much as I would rather watch Rear Window than Disturbia, he does do a really good performance in Disturbia.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, listen, it's a mistake to mess around and be like, Disturbia is trying to be the new Rear Window. It's like, no, it's not trying to be the new Rear Window. It's obviously influenced by it, but it's a movie from today. Like, nobody that made Disturbia is like, oh, we're gonna outdo Rear Window. No one there felt that. And if they did, I'm sorry for them. Anyway,
at the very least,
Moses.
they got a really good Shia LaBeouf performance.
Right. Talk to us about Bleed Them Dry, Mo.
Bleed Them Dry. It is a ninja vampire comic, and again, I've been a little busy. I didn't get to read all of it, but I did read about half. I read about half. All right.
Okay.
And, but this is technically part of a Mo deal because you get the whole first trade paperback for like $3 on vaultcomics.com. Is it vaultcomics.com? Hold on, let's see. Vaultcomics.com. Yeah, I'll put a link in chat real quick. And all their comics are the trade paperbacks are like $3 or $2 digitally, and then $20 if you want the physical. And it's not the first one I've read.
Joe shook his head.
No, Jay?
No physical.
Oh yeah, but you can get the digital.
Oh, there's no physical copies available?
No, I don't want physical. They're like $20 too. They're like 4 times as much for clutter. Like you're paying
not
for
clutter. For an actual copy of the book, Jay. Like it's never mind. Go ahead, Mo. Go ahead, Mo.
I've been telling Jay, maybe we should dress up your background, but it's like, no, that's his whole philosophy. It's minimalism.
Right. Jay,
it finally
have all that clutter.
It finally fits. Like it's literally like he is like the Steve Jobs of our show right now. Like all minimalism, clean, sleek design, and I love it.
This fool's shirt matches his wall.
No, it's a shade off. But it is a story of Bleed Them Dry is a story that takes place in the future. What 33?
33.
That's what it is. Yeah, too many threes. I don't like it. Makes me a little OCD. It makes my OCD act up a little bit, actually. But it is like a murder mystery, and there is a vampire slayer. And this is like an asylum city for vampire people, but there is a vampire hunter on the loose, and they're trying to stop him. And one of the human police gets caught up in the middle. And that's pretty much the gist of the story. From what I've read and got to read, I did enjoy the art. I like the art style and all that, but I was like, sometimes this art could have been spruced up with dialogue a little bit, But it was so far serviceable. In 2 issues that I did read of this, I wish it would have paced a little faster. But you do get the whole thing for $3, so maybe when I finish the end, that wouldn't be an issue. So I can't really knock it on that. But I did enjoy the art and the font on the title. I like that too. That's how actually I bought it. It actually popped up on my algorithm on Instagram. Yeah, I was like just looking at stories that people posted, and then the ad was, "Hey, get this for $3 right now." And then I clicked on it, and it's like sent me the Vault Comics. I'm like, oh, you got a lot of things. And I had read another comic from there called Barbaric that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I think we actually reviewed that too. So, so I'm like, okay, I recognize that. And then I'm seeing here like Barbaric Volume 2 is $3.99, and that's they only have that on ebook right now, so it's $4. Bonding, I actually see here, and I don't know why I'm clicking on it without showing you guys. I apologize, but it is. They still do the thing with the trade paperback for like $3 or so. So
Yeah.
So I might be buying more books here just to find I like what I got in the 2 issues that I did read of Bleed Them Dry. I like what they're doing here, and I'm gonna support them a little more. So.
Larry, did you finish it?
I did, and I should mention the writer is Elliot Rahal. Dyke Ruan is the artist. Mikel Muerto is the colorist, and Jim Campbell is the letterer. And right now,
Has Elliot done any other stuff?
Say again?
Has Elliot done any other stuff?
Let's see real quick.
Or what
It
was the
looks
last
like
name?
Elliot Rahal, Rahal. It looks like on Vault they did another book called Cult Classic Creature Feature. And there's another like volume of Cult Classic called Return to Whisper. So at least that's been.
But like real books.
Whoa, what's that mean?
He's worked on Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and Chilling Adventures in Sorcery.
But why are the other books not real?
You tell me.
I
he
feel
also
like they're
wrote
real.
Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe #1.
Wait, what?
You know, Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe.
Okay. Yeah. I listen. I understand that Vault isn't necessarily what people would think of as like a major publisher, but at the same time, like even given the book that we read today, we're talking about today, it's like this book isn't something to just sneeze at, in my opinion. Like I was like, I enjoyed it.
Madam Satan one shot.
It's no Madam Satan one shot. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Did Rahal do that too, or no?
Yes.
Yeah, that's just his pedigree. Like, not everything could be Madam Satan one shot. I mean, look, we saw the Madam Satan episode on Sabrina on TV, and they couldn't do what the comic did.
But wait, so why? But are you all talking about Bleed Them Dry like it was only okay? Is that how you all feel?
No, it's how she's trying to say it, but.
Bleed Them Dry starts off pretty formulaic, standard, but it goes someplace relatively interesting, and the characters are likable and interesting.
Why do you say all that like it's all negative?
No, that's all positive.
Right, I agree. I'm just saying, like you said it with like the enthusiasm level of like negative. Like you're like the dude on the friggin' look. Oh man, I'm about to make a sports reference on Fantastic Forum. You're about to you sound like the dude on the friggin' what is it? The Denver Nuggets that is like, okay, I'm done already. We won the championship, so I can go home. And they're like, no, you got to stay for the parade. He's like, when is the parade? He's like, no, I gotta go home. So Joe said this joint like it was just his job to read this comic, and like he's like, I enjoyed it, but I enjoy a lot of things. That's the energy that I got from you just now. Huh?
I said that's true, but No, I
Well,
did enjoy this.
well, yeah,
Like,
but
I read to the end.
you're right, but here's the thing, Joe. You said it like that, but it's not true. Like, you don't enjoy a lot of things. You enjoy some things.
Do I not enjoy a lot?
No.
Oh, that's
You
good.
You have a very particular taste. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, like, here's the thing. I'm not saying that you don't enjoy things. Like, the things you do enjoy are usually pretty, like they're very, I can't even say it's niche, because niche implies that there's like rhyme and reason, like where we could be like, oh, Jay only likes this. And I can't say that because I've known you my whole life, and I have a hard time. Like, there's some things I know that I'm like, okay, Jay definitely would like this. But there are other things that you come at me with, and I'm like, man, I didn't even know Jay would even enjoy that. Like, I'm confused, and I'm like, I don't even. There's nobody else here that knows you as well as I do, like, on the planet. So I'm just like, I feel like I'm the foremost authority on Jay, and when people ask me questions, I'm kind of like, I'm gonna give you an answer, but it's 50-50. So I'm just saying, if you're like, oh, I enjoyed this, I'm just like, that's a win, because you don't enjoy everything.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong. And at the same time now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Bleed Them Dry is phenomenal, because I definitely am of the mindset. Like, I've read enough and have experienced enough media, whether you're talking about comics, television, movies, to be able to be like, oh, Bleed Them Dry isn't the end all be all in regards to, like, it's not Chroma. You know what I'm saying? Like, Chroma, where I was just like, wow, like, I know I didn't read it all when we friggin' did the review, but after, like, I was like blown away, which all of us were, I think, wherever we decided to stop, we were just like, this joint's amazing. And then after having actually read it all, I was like, damn, this joint's even better than I thought it was. And I felt bad for not having finished it. However, Bleed Them Dry is still like a super solid kind of book. And like you said, it has interesting characters. The story goes some places different than you probably would think it would go when you first started reading it.
The character designs, like, everybody is recognizable. Like, it's from the
100%.
The news guy to the police chief to the detective,
100%.
to the red herring to the, and it's like,
I was watching a TV show today where I confused two people. And those are real life people. Like, it was a live action television show.
Was it on BT?
Like, no. Why you gotta be racist?
Real quick, Burr says, LOL, I have a friend like that with anime. His tastes are so unpredictably picky. Every time I think he'll like something, he doesn't, even though it's so much like other things he likes.
There it is. There it is. Shout out to Burr. What up, Burr? Good to see you, man.
But
yeah, right. Absolute. But yeah, it's like one of those, like, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, it's like, and I'm not mad at Jay, because I like Jay, like, eclectic. Jay's face is the picture next to the word in the dictionary. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jay is an eclectic dude, and I love him for it, because he exposes me to so many things. Like, he'll just randomly be like, hey, you should check this out. I found it interesting. I think you will too. And 9 times out of 10, he's right. And I'm just like, and I'll go to Jay and be like, Jay, this was amazing. Where did you find this joint? And he's like, oh, you know what? One of my favorite stories for Jay hit me to some music one time, and I was like, Jay, this was amazing. Well, where did you find this? He's like, oh, I was like, this was when there actually were, like, music stores still. And Jay was like, I went in the music store and I saw the cover for this album, and so I bought it because the cover looked amazing. And I was like, wait, what? Like, he hadn't heard any of the music. He didn't know the group. Like, there was no sonic reference from Jay to be like, I should buy this CD. He saw the art and was like, oh, that resonates with me, so I'm going to like the music. And it's just like, what? Like, and don't get me wrong, it's like, it's not to say, like, obviously he was right. But it's like people don't normally operate like that. And that's the a perfect definition of Jay. People don't normally operate like that.
It happened to me when I bought a Power Man 5000 CD back at San Diego.
Really?
Yeah, because it's called Power Man. So
Right.
I sound like, yeah, I know that's a reference. And then on the cover, in the back cover, they had the Kamen Rider. And I'm like, it just as a design thing, like a collage thing, and I'm like, all right. So I bought it. It was
but Power Man 5000 is not Luke Cage reference, right?
The Power Man in it is. I mean, it has to be because one of their songs is called like "Son of X-51," so it's like they read comics. So the Power Man in Power Man 5000 has to be a Luke Cage reference.
I'm shocked by that. I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Bleed Them Dry. So all of that to say, Jay, I'm just like, I'm not saying that, like you should feel how you feel about it, but it seems to me like you might have liked it more than you're letting on. You're playing it cool, Jay.
No, I did enjoy it. It's like to mix noir and cyberpunk is pretty dope. Like, not most people can do that.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just them and Batman Beyond. Yeah.
Right.
That's pretty true.
Like looking at these pictures and this architecture, that's what it feels like. And even at first I was like, man, maybe, having to do this futuristic, maybe it wasn't even necessary. Like, what if it was medieval time?
Mm-hmm.
But really it just works. Like that setting is just a setting, but the story still works.
Mm-hmm.
And and it just looks cool as I'm reading it.
No, I agree. And I will say that, I know for myself, like, I mean, right at the top of the book, it says a vampire ninja story, right? Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's what it says. Hold on.
Maybe
let me. You're right. A ninja vampire tale. I'm sorry. And so for someone like myself, like I'm huge on ninjas. Like, I love ninjas. And I feel bad that, like, as a kid that grew up in the 80s, ninjas was like a big thing. And then they faded away. And then they, like, and don't get me wrong, when I say faded away, it's not like ninjas like disappear, but they didn't have the kind of prominence they had in the 80s. And I feel like in the 2000s, they tried to make a comeback and it didn't quite take, which is sad for me because, like, we got like 2 new like ninja movies that were like seriously about ninjas.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're just like, okay, well, that's not resonating with folks. And I'm just like, who are these people that don't want to see ninja stories? But okay, fine. Whatever. Then when it comes to vampires, it's like I have a love-hate relationship with vampire stories because generally speaking, I find vampire stories very interesting. At the same time, it's kind of like sometimes the way vampire stories are depicted can be too much for me because I'm not big on horror. But I do find vampires, like, as far as like lore and stories, really interesting. And so when you're like combining the two and you're like, it's a ninja vampire tale, I'm just like, okay, you know what? You have my attention. And I'm going to read this first issue and I'm hoping that you're going to live up to my expectation when it comes to the idea of what a ninja story is and what a vampire story is. And what Bleed Them Dry did, which I was a little like taken aback by, was it didn't really give me what I was expecting from either one of those kinds of stories, but it gave me enough of each of them in its own way that I was like, I'll read the next issue. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I say that like I wouldn't have read the next issue anyway, because I would have, because we're doing it for the show. But what I'm saying is I wanted to read the next issue, which is the important part. And that's what, like, you know, when you're talking about, especially when you're talking about number ones in comics, it's like, that's a big deal. Like your first issue, its whole job when it boils down to things is to be like, okay, I need to compel you to buy issue 2. And so it definitely did that for me. And then having read the series, which it's 6 issues, I'm just like, dude, this joint, like, it's not the best comic I've ever read, but it's definitely entertaining. Yeah. What's up, Percy?
Naruto made ninjas cool again, but it didn't seem to take off from there.
No, I agree. Like, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like, I mean, Naruto made ninjas cool in a particular sector, obviously. Like, I personally love Naruto. And, you know, and this is like one of the other places, one of the few where Jay has disappointed me yet again, because Jay put me on to Naruto and then left me alone to like be a Naruto fan and decided that he's like, oh, I don't need to watch Naruto anymore because Barry's watching it.
I did fall off.
Oh, yeah, look, I don't even know if Jay's ever even seen Shippuden. Have you seen Naruto Shippuden, Jay?
No, he went to Boruto.
No, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, like Naruto. The first. I feel like I saw half of the first arc.
Yeah, but you understand that there's like a whole series of Naruto Shippuden.
I know.
Okay, got it. I'm glad you know.
So, one of the things that I did like in Bleed Them Dry, and this is a little spoilery, but they do this cool ass thing where it takes place 1,000 years into the future. And so we get the perspective of what it was like before vampires.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out they just came and kicked all kinds of ass and made people, like, the victors write the history books.
Right.
And made it seem like things, how they are now is the way they've always been.
Mm-hmm.
Which I just think is just interesting conceptually. In fiction, not in real life. In real life, Florida sucks. Like, fuck Florida.
Look, well, first of all, I'm not gonna say you're wrong. But what I will say is, dude, like
Bird just came back. Like,
oh, does Bird live in Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bird. I didn't realize. I know. Bird said, "LOL." Wow. Bird said, "LOL." Wow. Unbelievable. I'm gone.
It's not the people; it's the ones in charge. The people that are burning books and trying to rewrite history.
But here's the whole thing. It's funny you say it like that, because I'm with you and I agree with you 100% in the sense that, you know, there are definitely people out here trying to control the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the government is ass. Fuck DeSantis. There it is, Burr. Appreciate it.
Right.
But
that's what I'm trying to say.
But you're saying that like we grew up in that whole same environment in just America at large. Like, it's not Florida on its own. It's like, you know, like, yeah, I mean, we
I can see what they're doing. Like, but they're doing it currently.
They are doing it currently.
And they're being super blatant about it.
Right.
Like, they're literally flaunting it in our faces.
No. You know, look, I guess what it is where I'm like, you know, they're messing around and feel like they can do it because it's been done before. And that's the whole thing, where it's like, it's the same way how, like, we grew up with all this stuff about Columbus. And you know, like, I'm just saying, like we got those stories in that same way. And it's like, it wasn't until much later. Like, I know for myself, like, you know, I went to a historically Black college, and I damn near feel like I had to get deprogrammed. You know, like growing up in friggin' California and not having like necessarily a wealth of Black people around me to be like, hey, like, you understand that they tell you the history in this way, but there are like stories and facts that contradict some of these things that they teach you that are actually, or that are supposedly historical. And it's just like, what? You know?
I bring this up because I was gonna say, one, Jay, we're past the type 2, and then the other part is really this. Like, this is what's going on. Like, you can't say fuck Florida anymore because it's like 20 of these states doing the same shit.
Right.
Just
right.
So like, it's not even like the jokes about Florida man and all that.
Right.
You can't even really say no more, you know?
No,
so,
it like Burr's 100% right. There's like a whole string of states that are out there in the deep South, in the Midwest, that are just, you know, and don't get, I mean, listen, you never know. Like, Arizona.
Yeah. They've been the more Christian states.
I mean, listen, I don't even know if it's Christian or not Christian, but either way, it's like everyone needs to be watched in regards to what they're putting out here.
Yeah, they need to stop taking our $3 per $4 taxes from California and New York. If they care that much, you know what I'm saying? I can use that money myself. We got potholes. You know,
we do have a fact.
And I am watching the clock. I had an ulterior motive for being on past my type 2.
It's all good, man. I was just trying to be funny, but really, I'm happy to have you.
Jay has ulterior motive. Anyway,
but speaking of, it will be time for me to go soon.
Yeah. So what else do we want to say about this before we actually rate it?
I know Mo mentioned the art, but I want to mention the art also. I enjoyed the art.
It was really good.
Yeah. I don't think they say what happened to the cat at the end.
What cat?
The girl had a cat in her apartment.
She probably ate it.
Remember?
I don't think she went back.
Yeah, so I mean, the cat's just there.
Yeah, maybe next convention.
Maybe someone took it in. Maybe someone heard it meowing. I'm not sure. I think they might have gone and checked her apartment, and the guy took the cat.
Her partner?
Yeah.
That's diabolical. It's diabolical.
But
he's a monster.
I did enjoy the art. Yeah, they did some shady stuff with some corpses, but overall, I did enjoy the art.
So what about you, Mo? I know you said that you liked the art already, but you got to only read the first 2 issues, 2 of 6, right? Yeah. So it's like, what are you thinking? Like, are you feeling like you're gonna go back and like eventually finish it, or what do you think?
Totally. Like, I mean, I like the cover, like the cover that we have right here, in our little thumbnail. Like, that was literally the ad, and it says, "Hey, get this comic book at a low price." You know, and I'm like, okay, I like comics, you know?
Yeah,
and
it is.
I like digital comics, and this company is making it easy to buy digital comics. They gave it to me in 2 different formats, an EPUB format and a PDF. So depending on what you're like, I actually fucked up because I put the wrong format. I don't know if you guys can read EPUB in our drive, so you guys can review it. So I had to go and get the PDF up there. I didn't realize it was in 2 formats. So But I appreciate it because it's at $3 like that, and give me those options. It's you know, I don't know if they sell it on Comixology, but everything I hear from Comixology is you can't find anything you're looking for. So,
Right.
So yeah, that the execution of it, the marketing, the marketing on it, I like the algorithm found me. So it's like I don't want to see no big booty girls. Give me comics, you know. And so the algorithm finally worked here, you know.
There it is.
So yeah, I'm gonna buy more stuff.
And the wild part is, like, I mean, it took some time for this joint to come out. Like it's 6 issues, but I know it started in 2020. I think, if I'm not mistaken. But the last issue didn't come out until 2021. And so it's like, you know, it took its time coming out with those 6 issues. Or I won't say it took its time. What I'll say is, you know, because Lord knows it's like, you know, we're not talking about a giant corporation
right
publisher here. You know,
right.
it's like it's
but the quality, way the quality is. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the physical copies because they look really good digital. I can only imagine print it out. So and I should. Oh, go ahead, Mo. I'm sorry. No, it was that. It's like they like, yeah, it takes a little longer, but it's a high quality book. It's not your standard Ashcan or your bad monthly books that you get from the big two, right? You know,
absolutely. And I should also mention that the you know, it's we mentioned earlier the $20 for the physical copy, but it is actually $20 for the physical and the ebook. So you get the physical and the digital for that $20.
I got swindled.
So if you buy it on Comixology, it's like $9.
For what?
For the trade paperback. For the Okay.
Physical or for
no digital? Comixology is digital.
Comixology is digital.
Yeah. But you have it in your library, in the app, and everything.
But I'm saying, why would I buy a digital version for $9 if I can get it for $3?
Well, it'll be part of your library there, and you'll always have it, as you know, without having, like, if your computer gets fried, it's in that cloud, it's in that server as yours, you know. Whereas if the one I bought, like, if I hadn't cheaped out and not bought you guys a copy and just you guys share mine, then, you know, my computer fritzes, I'm out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know,
there's a comic I want to see here, and let's see if I can share it with you. Share screen. Yeah. And it's this one. It's called Queen of Swords. And like, I love that cover. I love like that sword and sorcery, like Conan. Like, it's the Red Sonja font. Like,
this is definitely giving a Red Sonja vibe.
And this is only physical, and it's $100.
That's from Vault?
Yeah, they only made 100 of them.
Oh,
so
geez.
It says it's this gorgeous Red Sonja #1 homage variant, Skylar Partridge and Daniel. It's only available for a very limited time. It's extremely rare. Collectible cover, ships bagged and boarded in a Gemini mailer. Grades are not guaranteed. Purchases will be, you know. And I guess
grades
it's
are not guaranteed. What's that mean? They're like, it might get messed up in shipping?
Like, if you're expecting to get like a 9.0, like, it might not be it. Yeah. But, you know,
I guess.
The Gemini mailer is technically fairly reliable. So you won't necessarily like get a bad, if you're looking to grade it, you're not going to get like a 2. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
But I'm like, I want to buy that for $100.
Okay. Man. Like, I feel like they should have a counter if they're like, it's only limited. It's like, it should be like, oh, there's only so many left.
let me share the screen as I buy it. Let's see what it's
so are we ready to rate?
Yeah, we should do that. Moses, what would you rate Bleed Them Dry?
I would give it a 4 out of 5. It is a good, like, just the experience of finding it and buying it was a good experience in and of itself. And then what I read, I enjoyed.
Mhm.
So I can't knock it. I enjoy it. And so yeah, 4 out of 5. The whole experience, aside from, sorry, I clicked the wrong thing here. And the story and everything is all good. I'm counting the buying experience too because it was so easy. I literally got my receipt and then a download link. So I like that in my comics. So
There it is.
They put me on to a marketplace that is easy now. Like I can literally like get whole arcs for like $3-4
Right.
bucks, and
Right.
some of that stuff looks good. Like the covers look good, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna buy more. You know.
There it
So
is.
definitely, like, I'll give Vault as a whole, and it is a mode deal to a degree. I didn't play the music, but you gotta let them know you gotta hear when you buy it.
There it is. Jay, what about you? What would you rate Bleed Them Dry?
I'll give it a 3.5.
Okay. 3.5. Gotcha.
Yeah.
As for myself, I think I would give it I'd give it a solid 4. I almost want to give it 4.5, honestly. Again, it's not the greatest thing you'll ever read, but it does its job in giving you like a ninja vampire story. And it does give you like a cyberpunk feel that, again, I wasn't even expecting personally. And it's very cool. Like it is like when it like there's some books you read and you're just like, man, this is so deep and it has so many layers to it. And you're like, okay, this could be a television series or a whole set of movies. Bleed Them Dry is not quite that. Bleed Them Dry could be an amazing movie. Or and I won't say or, and it should be additional comic books. You know what I mean? Because there's more there. Like there's definitely a whole world that got built that I would like to know more about. I would love for it to go into the past and all that kind of stuff. But the fact of the matter is, like, there's a lot of stuff there that I would love to see maybe covered in other comics, and it would be awesome if it did get like a movie, whether that be live action or animated. That would be super cool too, based on this particular art. But it's fun and it's awesome and it's well executed, and I would love to see more of it. So there it is. All right, look. It's time for us to get out of here. Let's go ahead and play some final thoughts music and do our thing. Hey, give me some final thoughts.
Shit, I forgot.
Hey, that's more than fair, friend. That's more than fair. Most Magnum, final thoughts.
Enjoy life, even if it is the shitty Transformers movie. Like, life is kind of fleeting. If you like it, you fucking like it. But don't waste your time not reading the source material and knowing how it should be.
No, there it is.
Like,
There it is.
subscribe to the bell.
Exactly. Like Mo said, like, subscribe, hit the bell. We appreciate you. Thank you for your support. We'll be back next week. So, in the meantime, let us know what you want to see, what you don't want to see. Shoot, there's a lot happening in comics coming up in this week. For the rest of this month, we got The Flash coming up.
Ooh.
This weekend we got Secret Invasion coming out, like, you know, in the next like 2 weeks or so. So, you know, mess with all that. Not to mention all these amazing comic books that are coming out each and every Wednesday. So, you know, whoever your favorite character is, go check that out at your local comic shop. For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you so much. We appreciate your support. And like I said, we'll be back next week. Until then, we're the Fantastic Forum. Good night.